What is up, everybody? It's your boy Verse today, and we're gonna talk about the PS5 Pro. I am so sick of hearing about this thing. I don't even think most people who even have a PS5 are even gonna buy this thing. I think it may be 5%, and that's probably being generous. As the amount of people who have a PS5 is probably gonna buy this thing. I don't see any need for this. Unless it's like some type of crazy GameStop deal where they give me an insane amount of money for my old PS5 to upgrade to this new one. I don't see myself even buying a PS5 Pro, because why is it needed? What PlayStation exclusive games are they bringing out? That's Sony's first party. Where is The Last of Us 3 at? Where is Ghost of Tsushima Part 2? Like, what incentive do I have to buy this PS5 Pro? So I can play your third party games a lot better on your PS5. On PS5. I don't really care that much, to be honest. But we have gaming journalists from WCCF Tech is saying PS5 Pro is needed. It is a needed device for advancing visuals, performance, and there's no untapped PS5 potential due to homogenized CPU GPU design. I don't even know what this word even means. I'm gonna be honest, be truthful, but he says it's needed to pretty much fix up the current gaming market. I don't think this is gonna change anything. The vast majority of PS5 consumers won't even play this thing. They're gonna stay with the regular PS5. I think they're gonna play games from there. But you know, people like this say we need this thing, and once again, I am so sick of hearing about this. I don't think it's gonna be that big of a difference. It's not gonna be leaps and bounds difference from regular PS5, but you know, we got to keep hearing about it like every few days at this point because Sony has nothing right now. They are releasing more hardware. Sony has released more hardware than first-party exclusive games at this point. Like, where is their big games at? Oh yeah, they told us it was gonna be like a whole another year until you get a big major game, AAA game. So that's what you got to look forward to. More hardware, different versions of hardware, and third-party games on your PS5. And them paying people like Square Enix off to fill their void of exclusive content. So PS5, this PlayStation generation has been such a bummer, a dud. This has probably been the worst generation. And the fact that they keep shoving different versions of hardware down your throat is making it even more annoying. Like, they gave you the PS Portal, nobody cares about. They gave you the PSVR 2, small amount of people care about it, but in the overall, nobody cares about it. And now they give me this PS5 Pro, which, once again, nobody's gonna care about this but the super like hype beast or the PS5 diehard fanboys. Nobody else, other than that, nobody's gonna buy this thing. But you know, as I actually get into this article, let's see why he says we just need this PS5 Pro. While many are voicing their doubts regarding the need for the PS5 Pro, so at least he understands that the vast majority of people said, hey, we don't really need this thing. So he's going to try to sway us differently. He says the console is somewhat needed to push visuals and performance for the generation games, as the PS5 has some sort of untapped potential. It's just an internet mess. I mean, that is kind of true because you've seen the previous generations, they have made some amazing games. Like at the end of, the PS3 generation, they made The Last of Us. So that is very true. It was like they haven't really finished developing or fully getting situated with the PS5. So it still has some untapped potential. It's just people are just rushing for this PS5 Pro. Just kind of like, why are we paying more for a system that is pretty much undelivered this entire generation with exclusives? But he says, well-known AMD leaker Kepler commented on the yet-to-be-revealed mid-generation hardware from Sony and the untapped potential of the base model, saying that this is the 90s or 2000s anymore when consoles hardware was esoteric like the N64 and the PS3. Over the last few decades, hardware vendors have somewhat homogenized the design of their products, converging on a similar design that barely have any difference. According to Kepler, there is very little difference between modern CPUs and between Intel and AMD. Okay, pretty much saying it's not that much of a difference. Okay. To see a real jump in visual fidelity, however, the next generation of consoles will be needed, as the PS5 Pro would not be a massive leap over the base model. Okay, so if it's not going to be a massive leap, and you admit that, why do you think we need this thing then? Like, I'm not seeing a reason to buy this. It's not going to be a major leap. But he says, still the improved GPU, better ray tracing. Oh yeah, we can see shadows a lot better. So if you look in water, you can see a shadow a lot better. Yeah, that's really what I want to pay $300 more for your system for a new system. What was it? Better ray tracing and the PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution Upscaler. should provide a nice boost that will tide over console players until the release of the PS6. No, I think most console players will just stick with the PS5 until the PS6. I don't think they're going to buy this PS5 Pro. So just another waste of hardware Sony's just releasing out there. They love that. They really have a hard on for releasing hardware that nobody cares about. Like, sure, it was cool last generation with the Xbox Series X and the PS4 Pro. Honestly, I think most people probably could just stick with the regular stuff to begin with, but, they want to throw these different Pro models out there. Well, let's see what you have to say about this. There are definitely untapped potential in PS5 and Xbox Series X, but that doesn't mean we should not get a PS5 Pro. It's because almost no games make use of Series X and PS5's huge ability to stream in large amounts of data during gameplay. The PS5 Pro CPU is basically the same, which is a major red flag for me right there. Like, if it's pretty much the same, then why do I need to buy this? It's like when you see new technology, new hardware, you don't want it to be almost the same as the old one. It's like, why would I pay money to upgrade then? Can you imagine if the PS6 would have the same pretty much CPU as the PS5? And it's like, why would you upgrade then? So I don't know. I'm not really understanding the logic for this whole PS5 Pro. It's pretty much the same. Doesn't make any sense to me. Sure, let's see what Naughty Dog, Guerrilla Games, Sony Santa Monica, Sucker Punch, Ben Studio, and Polyphony Digital have to show about that. When they release games built for PS5 over the next couple of years, we will see significant improvements over these cross-gen ports. Then this guy just says, the Sony with a thrown up emoji. Sony is so overrated this generation. They're so overrated, especially this gen. Oh, man. Sony hasn't even made a game that wasn't built off last gen game, but the Pro is needed. Kind of facts. It's like most of their games are PS4 games. But we just need this PS5 Pro when they barely made any standard PS5 games. Just hilarious right there. So they pretty much went on par with the Series X, got it. They need a Pro to compete with the Series X. That's kind of sad, if that's true. So the PS5 was always underpowered then? That's certainly an interesting cope narrative. A scam. I wouldn't say it's a scam, but it's definitely like hardware that we really don't need. It's not really needed. Especially how the economy is right now. People getting laid off left and right from the industry and people, the consumers as well. It's like, this really isn't needed right now. It really isn't. Technology is flawed. And that's probably why Microsoft didn't do a next gen. They didn't do a next gen upgrade either, a mid gen upgrade. Because who's really gonna buy that right now? Just make games, make software, which is what they make most of the money off anyway, is software. So I don't know why they got this big major push for hardware. It's like they keep on releasing more and more hardware, and it's like you make most of your money off software anyway. What happens to the pre-existing user base of PS5 owners? They're going to still be there. I don't think too many people are going to buy this quote-unquote Pro model. I can't wait for the PS5 Pro. There are games like Final Fantasy 16 that makes me want the console more and more. Performance mode is very inconsistent. I'm pretty sure that's like a developer problem. So it's like, I think that's the skill issue with the developers. It's like they can make it run a steady, or at least make it consistent 60 FPS on a base PS5. They just choose not to do so. Sony loves double dipping their fanboys. They made them buy The Last of Us like 20 times. He's exaggerated, but that's not really that far off if you think about it. They have definitely bought The Last of Us a few times already. They definitely love making them buy the same products over and over again. Just like how PS4 Pro was needed because PS4 couldn't improve graphics, yet it did, all marketing BS. There is an untapped potential, but there's a toxic industry that has forgotten optimization for 10 years that just throw more hardware at it. Yeah, it's like, instead of making more hardware, let's just better optimize these games. It's like, there's time and time again where there are shown to be several games just not optimized properly. So if they took more time to optimize these games instead of rushing them out, then maybe we won't have this issue where a PS5 Pro is just supposed to be like the band-aid fix for these games that they keep releasing half-assed and unfinished. Gave you an undercut console to sell you mid-gen upgrades. Genius indeed. Yeah. Once again, I'm not gonna say the PS5 was a scam console. It's like it just seems like it's just a bare minimum for like this current gen. Not too many exclusives, major first party exclusives this generation. This is, like I said, the one of the worst PlayStation generations by far. It got to constantly rely on third party games to keep them afloat, to keep them in their. It's just sad right now. It's just sad. And then people will crap on Xbox talking about their first party games. At least Xbox is giving you first party games, exclusive games made by first party studios. While Sony is just like, they're twiddling on thumbs, I guess. I don't know. I remember being told on the PlayStation podcast that the SSD was the PS5 saving grace for the so-called untapped potential. Yeah, what happened to the whole magical SSD narrative that this guy was behind right here, Mark Cerny? It was such a magical SSD. Certain games can be played unless they have this magical SSD. I thought that was a saving grace. I guess it's not. It is just so hilarious to just thinking about the SSD now. Like, that was so much marketing BS right there. That SSD was gonna cure cancer or something. Like, there was a second coming of Christ. So I was like, geez, the way they was pushing that thing. I see the usual fraud share. This dude is so butthurt. I see the usual fraud share this article like some sort of trophy, as if their next big game was in letterbox 900p, 300 FPS quarter. Talk about untapped potential. Oh, he's so butthurt. The Sony wasn't selling a remastered console after they keep selling remastered games over and over again. This gen consoles did get old pretty fast. And what makes it even worse is that most people didn't even get a PS5 because of the whole pandemic thing. So they had to wait like at least a year or two. And now they're pushing the PS5 Pro. That's insane right there. It's a myth for me personally, but Xbox fans should prepare for the all talk to a PS5 Pro over and over again. I'm tired of hearing about the PS5 Pro. I'm tired of hearing about it at this point. Wildly inaccurate beyond belief, there is tons of untapped potential in both the current PS5 and Xbox Series X and S. And it's crazy that these journalists say, hey, don't believe that there's untapped potential, even though we've seen it before in previous generations. Just say that, hey, this is the best our consoles can do it. Just not leave it up to bad optimization. Like, these journalists are definitely pushing the people to buy this hardware when it's not really needed. I was like, you just optimize games better. I was like, that's all you really need to do. Does anyone else feel like Sony is just milking their console base because their games aren't making the profit needed? But their console can? I don't see the need for a Pro, but Sony knows people will buy it. I don't even think that's even true. I think they know just the diehard people will buy it. Like the zealots will buy it. The only average person is going to buy this thing. This isn't saying what most people think it's saying. In fact, it's saying almost the exact opposite. It speaks to the dissatisfaction with modern games as a whole. The truth is, with modern coding and UX tools, most people learning today don't actually know how to code efficiently. In other words, they need to optimize better, that's what he's trying to say. Whenever I hear people say nonsense about PS5 Pro, like that untapped PS5 potential, they're just being cheap. Okay, so now they're being cheap because they don't want to chill out and pay $500+ for another system that they already have. Like, really? Is that being cheap or just being smart with your money? Or being a smart consumer? Like, geez, these shills will say anything. Like, what is going on here? I'm just gonna wait for the next PS6 or the next Xbox at this point. I probably won't even buy this thing. Like I said before, unless GameStop has some crazy trade-in deal, I probably won't be getting this thing. I'll just stick with the PS5 until the PS6 comes. But yeah, this is just wow. There's just need for saying, hey, you just need this PS5 Pro. Nah, I don't think I do, but I'm going to include it right here. Definitely want to see your thoughts down below. Leave a like if you like this video, and as always, thanks for watching, and peace.